No free SMR, no free SMR. But beautiful day. Lighting looks a little off because it's like super sunny, so have a little bit of a contrast going on. But regardless, we're working on it. We're working on our at-home studio, trying to get everything set up. But without further ado, welcome back to the podcast, ladies, gentlemen, everyone else in between. What is up? I'm your host. It's funny. My intro is different every time. Maybe we'll keep the intro. Maybe it'll be the same. We'll find one. But welcome back to the podcast nonetheless. Been a fun last week. A lot of craziness going on work-wise. Just a lot of stuff to get done. I always, we're keeping the job a mystery at the moment. For reasons of myself, we're going to keep the job a mystery at the moment. But no, work's been good. It's just been really, really hectic. It's starting to get, just today for some reason, but relatively nice here in Southern California. But we're back. We're back with the podcast. But I guess first off, because obviously we started with a little debrief of what went on last time with Coachella, the latest debrief and what I was talking about last episode that I was going to go do was Sinners. Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Sinners. And cinema excellence, that's two words to describe this movie. Just pure cinema excellence. This movie was phenomenal. I kept seeing all the hype. And I'm a movie nerd myself. I love to go to the movies. I love actually going to the theaters. I love, everything from, and this is going to be very novice, but everything from, and I'm going to sound like a fucking, movie fake know-it-all, but I'm learning. I'll put it there first. But with Sinners, everything from the cinematography to the score to even the casting, the photography, the set, it was such a masterpiece of a movie where I was talking about it where, again, this might not make sense and might just be pure fake, but it made me feel like it was a fictional musical biopic meets vampire horror movie because it was set in Jim Crow 1930s Mississippi. So it had a lot of realism in it with how life was back then. Again, these weren't real people, but everything from how the towns were obviously had, Jim Crow level stuff. It had, blues music and how back then, people thought blues music could summon spirits and everything. And then that's when it dives deep. It mentioned Al Capone, World War I, all that stuff. And then that's when you get to the vampire vibe of the movie. And and the music. I literally can't go on more about this movie that it was just phenomenal. It was as close to a 10 out of 10 as you can get for me. An original movie piece, obviously Ryan Coogler is amazing. Michael B. Jordan doing two different roles as his twins, and credit to Michael B. Jordan that every now and again when you see a certain actor play two different roles or something, it just doesn't ever hit. Michael B. Jordan made Smoke and Stack feel like which they were two completely different characters, but acted by two completely different people. What he did in making them both individuals, was insane. Just from, and again, I know this is great script writing and everything, but credit where credit's due to the actor himself, their personalities, how they went about it. It's just, it was an insane movie. And Ludwig Göransson is basically, our generation's Hans Zimmer at this point. His music, two bangers in the 2020s, to go from Oppenheimer to this, chef's kiss. It was, even people I know who this movie night might have not been for them were yeah, that music was great. The music was insane. The movie was insane. Shout out, Ryan Coogler's on this crazy tear. And it sparked some arguments in my TikTok comments, but I do believe this to be true, that we're in the midst, they're not solidified there yet. We're in the midst of our generation having our own Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro duo. Now, again, Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro have had 60 fucking years in this industry. I'm not saying that they're there, but they've been on 4 movies together, all 4 have just been bangers. Like Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther, this. I guess both Black Panthers and this. Like, all bangers. They clearly know each other. They know how to, like, obviously Ryan Coogler knows how to direct Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan knows how to take direction from Ryan Coogler. Michael B. Jordan himself is a direct, like, it's just, it was amazing. Like, I don't know what's going to come from this. Like, I know this is everywhere on Twitter, TikTok, etc., but, like, this movie could have a prequel. It could have a sequel. Like, I want to know, you know, the life of Smoke and Stack, what that was like, because clearly there's some demonic energy that has followed them throughout their whole life. I want to see what it was like with their dad growing up, then to World War I, then to Al Capone, back to Mississippi. And then obviously there has to be a sequel, because that ending of the movie, man, where Stack comes back with Mary, Haley Steinfeld, and meets Sammy at the bar, and that raises some questions, because, like, I don't know if it was just... Ryan Coogler seems like someone who doesn't just, like, forget a detail. Like, Sammy's sitting there and you don't see his reflection in the mirror. I don't think that was a camera. Like, it had to have something. And obviously they're back, you know, like, Stack and Mary didn't die. Like, they're fucking here, clearly. So I feel like there should be a sequel, but regardless, that movie was awesome. And it's funny that and a couple other things recently just play such a funny part in, basically, the Netflix CEO, Ted Sarandos, came out and said, Netflix is saving Hollywood and no one wants to go to the movies anymore. They want to watch them at home, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, because 2 things can be true at once. 1, shut your mouth. And 2, streaming at home and Netflix is dope. Like, both of those can be true. Like, for Netflix to succeed in streaming services, movie theaters and theaters don't have to die off. Like, but he had to make that comment to be like, yeah, no one wants to go to movies anymore. Like, shout out streaming. Like, and this last week and a half just proved it couldn't have been worse timing for him to make this comment, because not only did Sinners premiere and it was insane and it's like continuing to sell out theaters, but Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, which came out, I don't know if it was like late 90s, early 2000s, but it was like 20 plus years ago this movie came out. Obviously, like, crazy fan base, Star Wars fans. We'll get into that another time. But they re-released this movie, which, again, the shit has been on streaming stuff for a minute. They re-released Revenge of the Sith in theaters, and that sold out. Like, theaters, I think it grossed $25 million over the weekend in theaters. And that's why I'm like, I love to stream. Like, I love streaming TV shows. I love the fact that you can stream movies. Because, again, after a movie is done at the theaters, like, I do prefer streaming over having to go to a Hollywood video and buy, like, don't get me wrong, nostalgia, great. Like, it was a good time. It was great. But being able to sit on my couch and, you know, open up Netflix, Hulu, whatever, and watch a movie, like, I also love that. Like, that's what you don't want to have movie nights with your friends anymore. So both can be true, but he couldn't have picked a worse week to come out with that quote, because it's just like everyone was like, okay, fuck you, like, we're gonna prove you wrong. Like, and clearly that happened, because people are going to the theaters. And then after Sinners came out, anonymous studio exec said that the deal Ryan Coogler was given is going to destroy Hollywood. And essentially the deal that he was given was that he gets first gross dollar, which means instead of waiting for the movie to make profit, like, he gets something like once the movie starts making money, he makes money. He made a banger. He was obviously going to make them their money back. Obviously this should be the deal. And I guess that one, I was talking to a couple people who know, like, how those deals work. That one's not as uncommon. But the one that had everybody, like, going crazy was that after 25 years, Ryan Coogler gets ownership of Sinners. And, like, that's his IP now. And Quentin Tarantino's got it before for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I don't know who else has gotten it before, but everyone's like, this is going to ruin Hollywood. No, it's not. Like, it's going to encourage people to make more original movies and not have to franchise everything and get our 85th Marvel movie. Like, I get they gross $1 billion, fantastic, love that. And some of them are, like, obviously their track record is that they're very, very good movies. But even Warner Brothers came out and was like, no, like, we wanted to give him this deal. Like, and shout out Warner Brothers. Like, Warner Brothers is a marquee studio. Let me tell you that right now. Like, when I was growing up to now, when a movie comes on and I see that beautiful logo with that WB, magic. And I mean, they were the studio that produced my favorite movies, Harry Potter, of all time. So shout out Warner Brothers, shout out Sinners. It was just a fucking masterpiece of a movie. And I thought that was amazing, and obviously, got everyone up in flames. So I love that. And another thing recently, and by recently I mean over the last like 2 or 3 days, that we got some nostalgia in a way back, but old Twitter was back in high demand, was that someone tweeted over the weekend that 100 people versus one gorilla, that if those 100 people were really locked in, that they could beat a gorilla. And I think in 2 or 3 days, this tweet got like 180 million views, and it just spawned old Twitter like you wouldn't even believe. Like, every quote, tweet, retweet, and reply to this tweet had me on the floor. Like, people making memes of like funny videos of gorillas, like a gorilla grinning, and then someone was like, yeah, after he rips the skin off the first guy, or someone fake fighting, and it's like me defending my friend. Like, it just sparked what Twitter used to be before corny ass people bought Twitter and made it something whack. And it just really brought back a time of like seeing the funniest possible replies, and like the funny thought of, and it just embraced so much debate, especially that people think that 100 people could probably beat a full-grown, healthy silverback gorilla. I just don't think so. Now, of course, then you have your people of like, well, what if we draft John Jones and Mike Tyson and blah, blah, blah. Like, first off, I still don't think that would happen. Like, again, I don't think you're realizing that, like, if you drafted these types of people, like if Mike Tyson was on my 100-person squad to fight this gorilla, I'm probably going to want him to go first. And what's going to happen is that gorilla is going to rip his fucking head off. And then what's going to happen to the crowd when this most feared UFC fighter of all time gets mollywopped in a second? You think anyone else is going to... And plus, like, people are, like, showing pictures of gorillas and videos. And, like, I saw one that was like, oh, this gorilla is 6'6", like 499, 500 pounds. People are like, oh, that's not that crazy. You do realize gorillas probably have like 4% body fat. So like when you're talking about 6'6", 6'7", 500 pounds, that 500 pounds is almost, if not purely muscle. Like, that's not some like, oh, he's flabby here, or like we could get him there. It's like, that's 500 pounds of pure muscle. Like, their bones are like 4 times the size as ours. Like, you can't bite through their skin. Like, it's for... I love delusional people. I do. Like, I really do think, like, delusional people make a great society where, and it wouldn't have sparked a great debate if people didn't think 100 common people could beat up a full-grown silverback gorilla. Like, it's awesome. And then we're talking, like, people are like, and it's after the debate of like, could a gorilla beat a grizzly bear or this and that? And I'm like, you want to have this debate with people? Like, this wall right here isn't even cement. Like, it's drywall mixed with whatever. If I punch this wall, I might make like a dent / get through. It's going to fucking hurt. Bro, imagine if I punched a gorilla. A, it's going to break my hand, and B, the gorilla's not going to feel it. It's going to, like, to the gorilla, it's going to feel like if a 2-year-old punched me in the arm. Like, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. So that just, like, brought up old Twitter to a point that I haven't seen in a long time, and just brought a whole delusional society together, which, again, I love. Like, delusional people are awesome. Like, sometimes I do wish I could be so delusional in a lot of scenarios, because delusional people clearly seem like very, very happy, because you're not telling them otherwise. Like, these are people that are, whether you want to say set in their ways or stubborn or whatever, they they believe something and you are not telling them otherwise. Like, and they clearly don't mind living their life that way. Also, this episode is sponsored by Stanley. It's not really, but I'd like it to be one day. And you know what? I did that with the old podcast, manifested, what sponsors my podcast could have, so we're going to continue to do so. Another thing over the weekend that Justin Bieber posted a series of stories and pictures and stuff like that of being harassed by the paparazzi, saying like, oh, my Bible can't save you, and then like this long thing on how like people want, by people like paparazzi and whatever, like want him to get out of LA, but it's the place people need him the most and stuff like that. And let me just say that, don't get me wrong, I think being famous would be cool. There's obviously a lot of perks to it. To be Justin Bieber level famous, I don't think would be fun. I do not think that would be fun. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, has it come probably with many, many, many perks for that young man? Absolutely. Have the cons outweighed the pros in that lifestyle? I mean, I guess it's depending on who you ask that lives that lifestyle, but I would probably, for him, I'd probably say yeah, because there's clearly certain people that can deal with it and certain people that can't, and like different instances happen to everybody. So no two things are the same. But even now, like, not that he's any less famous, but like, he's 30 or 31 now, and definitely trying to be more low-key. He's got a family, literally has a wife and kid now. And then even seeing photos of like this, or videos of like the second he leaves somewhere, constant, just like flashing of photos and shit. And I'm like, he's been dealing with this for like fucking 15 years. Like, I get there's a lot of people, and even I was one of them, that was like, oh, like he should be so used to it, but that shit takes a toll. And like, it's crazy to me to see where I'm like, what if, and I haven't seen him do it, but like, what, you're scratching your balls, or like, you're doing some shit and they just get it, and you can't stop that from being circulated online. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Like, you now are subject to millions and millions of people's perceptions. Now, don't get me wrong, like, and part of the reason why I like doing the podcast game, like, I see certain people that are pretty damn famous on your, like, whether it's your Nelk Boys or your Theo Vaughns or stuff like that, and like, those people can go places and blend in and not have like a tracker on them and go to either different states or countries and just vibe out. Like, again, the perks come with that when the name is dropped, or if some people recognize you. But if you're Justin Bieber, bro, like, where are you going? Like, truthfully, like, I know they have their like hideaway homes. Like, you have your, celebrities that have homes in, what's it called? The Yellowstone Club in Montana, or Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or here they're like, their gated community in Palm Springs. Like, I get that, but it's a crazy lifestyle to live. And then I see people, like, I've never in my life seen someone deal with fame as good as Kim Kardashian. And I don't think we ever will. Truthfully, I don't think we ever will see someone deal with fame as good as that woman does, because she has been in the public eye for good, bad, ugly, and great for the last, I don't know, going on 20 years almost. Like, she has been famous for a long, long, long time, and she has gone through some shit, and she somehow still does not let this shit phase her at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it takes its toll, and she has moments where clearly she's fucking like fed up with the shit going on, but my God, like, I've never seen somebody just like be so gracious and like navigate so well with the amount of fame that woman does. Like, it just came up, obviously, that the trial for the people that kidnapped and held her at gunpoint is officially starting. Like, mind you, do you remember that? Like, I'm not saying it's forgotten, but that's like crazy to think about, where, like, don't get me wrong, she was still mega famous then, but could you imagine right now in 2025 if in another country or here somebody kidnapped and held Kim Kardashian at gunpoint and robbed her of millions of bro, literal movie plot. Like, that whole thing was a fucking movie. Like, people posing as security guards while she was in Paris. Like, to get into her hotel room, it was, like, obviously a horror movie plot, but just, like, Jesus. Like, when that came back up, like, again, I didn't, like, if someone brought that up, I would know exactly what they were talking about, but just forgetting that, like, something of that magnitude happened to someone with the magnitude of fame as Kim Kardashian. And after that moment, she was still like, yeah, I want this life. What, like, crazy. And, like, that's clearly why she is now a billionaire, and she is continuing to succeed over and over again. That, like, that woman just does not quit. And it shows, because she's clearly, like, just killing it in literally everything she does. But no, it's just insane. I don't think I've ever seen anyone deal with fame as well as that woman deals with it. And it's crazy. And, like, shout out to her for that. Because, again, that shit's got, I mean, her husband is a Nazi. She's been through sex tapes, 72-day marriages, getting kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint. You know, her whole family going through shit. Her father divorcing her mother and then transitioning to become a woman. And I mean, I'm just sure there's so many other things you can find, but just, like, and to still be, like, so much kudos to that woman. It's insane, just in that family. And now that she has a podcast too, once upon a time, this is just me reminiscing on it, but Khloe Kardashian, shout out Coco, used to comment on my Instagram reels a lot, because I've always been a Coco fan, but used to comment on my reels a lot because, like, I would always be, like, making green screen videos, coming back at, like, the hater energy she would have. Khloe Kardashian, if there's any chance, I might as well put this out there. Khloe Kardashian, if there's any ever let me restart. Khloe Kardashian, if there's ever any chance of me doing a podcast with you, anywhere, anytime, any format, any rules, I'm there for it. Even if it was a 5-question podcast, 5-question interview podcast, I'm here for it, because we go back, Khloe. We go back, we do. And I've been a Khloe stan for a minute, so I just had to put that out there. But it's crazy to think, like, just the shit that family and woman, Kim Kardashian, has had to deal with, you know? And someone else who I was talking to Emma about it with that seems to deal with fame very, very well is Ed Sheeran, because that dude has been extremely famous for as long as I can remember as well. And I get it, like, American fame is different from UK fame and all that, but, like, he's famous everywhere. He does stadium tours around literally the entire world. And he seems like such a vibe. And I know I talked about it last episode, but, like, since last episode, he's doing, like, mini shows with Alex Warren, rolling up with Snoop Dogg, and just vibing. Like, he truthfully seems like such a good hang. Like, Ed Sheeran, deadass seems like the bro. He seems like the bro. Seems like some dude you could kick it with and have a great time kicking it with. So, little redhead, Ron Weasley-esque, UK. Shout out literally everything that Ed Sheeran is, because he seems dope. But as always, because we do weeklies, and I'm obviously a huge stan of it now, gotta hop into a little Summer House debrief. But last episode of Summer House aired, and I don't think I'm there on Jesse, man. Like, I think don't get me wrong. Again, there's certain people in certain reality shows that I may not necessarily be a fan of, like, person-wise, but are they good for TV? Yes. Does Jesse fit that bill? He does. But I just don't really, I'm not there on him, because every point brought up in last episode, in my opinion, was just so true. Like, he's sitting there making Lexi look crazy and saying that, like, she's this jealous person. Well, he's the jealous one, or at least being jealous right back to her. And I'm not, like, he just doesn't seem like he's, you know, he's a good time for one night. To all the ladies out there, I'm sure he's a great time for one night. But, like, him not only also trying to pose that Lexi's jealous because, oh, as soon as we started dating, or as soon as we started to become exclusive, I got my toe sucked. I was, like, aggressively flirting with Sierra and, like, every other girl I came across and all this other shit. And I'm like, and then tried coming at Lexi for having a problem with it. That one's not really computing in my head that, like, how that is. And then he comes back and be like, oh, you were flirting with West. So it's like, A, you're a hypocrite. B, she wasn't. It's West. Come on now. And yeah, like, I don't see what the dude's issue is. And then also, I don't think again, I'm a big Sierra lover, but, like, it's either she's got to come clean and be like, yeah, I have feelings for Jesse, or, like, let it go, because, like, she is clearly getting triggered / annoyed by, like, Lexi's rule, and she's getting annoyed at Jesse for, like, she's clearly annoyed by, like, Jesse and Lexi's thing, and I don't see, like, she's like, oh, I'm annoyed at Jesse because I can't play around and touch him anymore. Like, yeah. No shit. Like, what if a dude who, like, you were being overly flirtatious with and shit becomes exclusive with a girl, I'm guessing that girl's not going to want you to be overly flirtatious and touchy with her boyfriend anymore. Like, hold up. Oh, God bless me. Thank you. And she's, like, sitting there getting upset by it, and then all the other girls in the house are trying to, like, talk Lexi out of this almost in a way so that he can just continue going being a fuckboy with Sierra, and I'm not understanding it, where I'm like, if you're Sierra, just say you like the guy. Like, it's way, I don't know, this way seems like way more sketchball and not up front. Like, just be real about it. I could tell as a viewer that, like, you're clearly getting annoyed by this shit because you want him to keep showing you this type of attention, most likely because you like it, and you probably like him. And then, also, I'm not saying the article that Wes wrote was, like, good or right by any means, because I'm not. But for them to still reference, and, like, I see people bringing up, like, oh, Sierra would just get over West. But why is West and Sierra's thing being brought up at all? Like, she was actively flirting with Jesse. Well, she knew that Lexi was interested in trying to make something exclusive with Jesse. Like, it doesn't... And you guys just give her a pass. And I just didn't understand that. Like, I did not understand that. If she just came out or comes out and is like, yeah, I find Jesse hot, I want to go after that. It's better than what you're doing right now, in my opinion. But there was that. And the rest was kind of calm for the episode. Like, it definitely seems like these last couple episodes that Lexi, Jesse, a little bit of Sierra, et cetera, like, taking the helm of what's been going on. We got a nice, Tom Schwartz cameo in this week's episode. You gotta love Schwartzy. I mean, what a guy who's clearly been through some shit on reality TV to come through to Summer House and really just, like, chill with them and be like, oh, you guys think you're going through some drama? Ha! Okay. It's like literally preschool compared to the drama in Vanderpump Rules. It's insane. And then something else that was, like, almost turned into its own reality show recently, just concluded, 2024-25 NFL draft. Let me just say, this clearly wasn't why it happened. If it did, it would be an amazing conspiracy, but Shedeur clearly made people watch the NFL draft until Saturday, something that's really never been done before in terms of the mass public. I don't mean, people that are going in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Of course they're watching because they want to get their name called. Their family and friends. Like, I get it. People are watching those rounds. But the mass public is usually watching rounds 1, 2, then they're calling it quits. Some are just round 1. Some are just the first 10 picks. Then they're like, I don't care anymore. But yeah, like, I don't think I share the same view as everybody else. Like, do I think Shedeur is a good quarterback? Absolutely. Do I think he's skilled? Of course. Like, do I think he would clearly bring some good vibe / eyes to whatever team he goes on? Absolutely. But I do, like, that's what I don't think that like people don't realize that the NFL has never changed still is that, and I always go back to this one episode in Entourage when Jerry Jones was meeting with Ari, and that like the NFL does not do controversy, and not that Shedeur is controversial, but even distractions, they don't do any of that shit. Like most NFL owners, and I say most, not all of them, most NFL owners are still 70 plus year old white dudes who are in the fucking oil or finance or whatever business, and they don't want like, you know, the most flashy and distractions and cocky and all this type of stuff. And I know then you go back to like, is it cocky or confident, all this type of stuff. I think Shedeur is confident, obviously. Should he be confident? Yes. Is he the offspring of one of the most talented, not just football players, but athletes of all time? Yes. Like, and I'm not saying that doesn't warrant that, but teams clearly did not think that what would come off the field would match the same value as what comes on the field. And like, then I part of my take was talking about it. That was like another like big point that I do believe to be true is that a lot of teams did not need quarterbacks at the moment. Obviously some did, but not many. And then a lot of people are like, do we want to put up with this circus for a backup quarterback? Like, is that something that we're in the business of doing? Obviously, a lot of teams are going to answer no to that. And, like, also, the QB class was not that, like, insane this year. Like, you had Cam Ward, you obviously had Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel, Jalen Milroe, Shedeur, that one white dude from whatever college that went over Shedeur. Like, it wasn't the strongest, you know, QB draft class to be had, and clearly Shedeur didn't, like, put up. And on top of that, like, I'm guessing by what people are saying, his interviews didn't go that well. Why he wouldn't show up to the combine and throw, or some of the pro days and throw. Like, it definitely seemed like a lot of off-the-field decisions hurt his stock in the draft. And it did. Now, is Shedeur ever going to be not rich? No. He's going to be fine, but it's clearly going to take a lot for him to A, get a starting job, and B, like, make his name in the NFL. But I will say, one thing that we got out of this Shedeur fiasco is finding out that Shiloh Sanders is just a dope dude, just a good guy, truthfully. Like, if you watched him, because Shedeur and Shiloh live streamed basically all 3 days of the draft until his name got picked, and Shiloh just seems like the coolest older brother ever, like best hype man, keeping vibes up when they were low. Like, even that one quote where Shiloh was like, this is what they're doing to you. Like, what are they going to, because Shiloh also was in the draft, and he was like, this is what they doing to you. Like, what are they going to do to me? And everyone was laughing, and Shiloh was laughing at himself. And like, he ended up being a undrafted sign with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which shout out to that. But he came off as a great older brother and just a great vibes guy. So yeah, but we got Shedeur on the Cleveland Browns, who have an absurd quarterback room. I mean, if I can remember correctly, Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. Like, what? That, like, it's insane. Either a lot of those people are going to be traded, sat, waived. I don't know, but clearly it's not going to work out for some of those people. That one O lineman who's like, I love him. I forget what his name is, but he went to the Patriots. Good get. Really good get. Travis Hunter, the Jaguars, they traded up. So wasn't really the most fun NFL draft to watch, from being honest. Like, Genty went to the Raiders, which was cool. And yeah, that's just like NFL draft vibes. I'm trying to think. And then to the NBA, I have to deal with a bullshit ass first round, because after, and I don't even want to say this, after LeBron can't believe we're almost at those years. After LeBron James retires from the NBA, my allegiance is probably going to sway to Ant Edwards, because Ant Edwards just seems like the fucking man. He seems awesome. So I'm obviously going to have to go to him. Obviously, I'll still love, like, everyone from, like, Joker, Booker, Doncic, like not Tatum, but like everyone else. But having to watch the Timberwolves versus the Lakers in round 1 sucks because like I don't want to root against Ant at this moment. And obviously I physically cannot root against LeBron. Just can't happen. And they're playing each other in the first round. Like I wish they were in separate ones so that like I could, for the next 2 to 3 weeks, I could root for Ant and LeBron. And it would be fun to watch both games. But sadly I can't do that, and that kind of sucks. And it's looking like the Timberwolves are going to take it away, which is pretty upsetting, if I do say the least. Pretty upsetting. Because I don't want to end this with LeBron. And also, like, I don't think he's retiring this year because, like, if Luka does resign, I don't think LeBron is going to play, like, 1 year with Luka. Like, he's obviously going to want to indoctrinate him into the Lakers a little bit more. And I do think they'll have a great team if they can, I don't even want to keep saying it, like, add another player. Like, you got Luka Doncic and LeBron James. 40 years old, by the way. But we'll see. But it's just sad where LeBron to the moon. That's all I got to say. Just LeBron to the moon. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, because it came up to after I was talking about that stupid little field trip that Blue Origin took to space, and obviously that sparked debate with space stuff and everything. I came to the conclusion that, like, I'm so content not knowing things. Like, I really am. Like, you know, how a plane flies, how a phone works, gravity, what goes on in space. I'm cool not knowing how it works. Like, like, not that I want to live, like, oversimplistic and, like, not know anything ever. I like to know things. I like to stay informed. I like to keep on top of it. But not knowing, like, I'm okay with it. Like, there's certain people that really need to know the theory for everything and dive it. And I'm just like, that would drive me crazy because I would never, ever understand it. Like, even something is crazy and, like, not even as crazy, but when I watch videos of, like, very, very skilled video editors or sound engineers or stuff like that, I'm like, what? Like, they're clicking all this stuff in the highs. I'm just like, I don't understand. When I watch, like, a pilot fly a plane, I'm like, I get it. You had your 10,000 hours or however many thousand hours of, like, pilot training and stuff, so I get how you would be good at it after a long period of time, but, like, I'm still sitting here like I'm not, it doesn't click for me. And I will say, like, I miss, part of me misses learning. So for this podcast to know, I dropped out of college. Don't know if that's pretty apparent or not, but I did in fact drop out of college. It was about my third year at my third different school. Yeah, I sound like a loser, but dropped out of college, and my last year of college, I fucking hated it. Now, I wasn't a bad student. Like, I wasn't getting, like, dog shit grades or anything, but I just hated it. And then, like, I realized I love learning things in the moment. Like, the job that I have now is very, like, you learn from experience and what you're doing and everything. And I do love that, but I miss that part of my brain that was so, like, on from when I was in school that, like, I really did, like, you know, have the, I may not have loved it, but I had the ability to sit down and read and learn and do all this type of stuff. And I'm just like, that's gone. I want it to come back, and I don't know what I'm going to do to get it to come back, but no, that part's gone at the moment, trying to get it back. And I think I'm going to get it back with a good old friend, Duolingo. Never used Duolingo before, but also for some of you that may not know, I took Mandarin in grades 7 through 9. Did pretty okay in the class. I was definitely a better writer, like, on paper than I was speaking it and understanding it that way. Like, I could at least understand characters more. Like, when I saw something written out, like, I could understand that a little better. I think I want to start Mandarin again or Spanish, either or, because I just need to learn again. I need to get that part of my brain that's just, like, learning again, because, like, sometimes I really sit here like I'm so fucking stupid, and, like, I'll be like, damn, like, I have no want to learn shit. Like, I'll have those days where I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't want to learn a single thing. I'm over learning, done with it. And that's just, like, where I'm at the moment, but maybe we'll try. Another thing that I want to get over my fear of is, I wouldn't say like failure, because I'm fine. I've failed many things, fucked up a lot of things. But in like my drafts, I have at least like 10 different, not necessarily scripts, but like sets of stand-up that I've wrote for myself. And I know so many people my age or any age will like, oh, I want to go do that. Trust me, I know how much work like I love watching the behind the scenes of like how comics work, and like I know how much goes into it, and like it's not just something you can go up there and do. And I think that's where my hesitation comes from, is that I'm so nervous to go up there and bomb. And like I know from watching people, like comedians who I look up to, like whether the big dogs like a Kevin Hart, Chappelle, Rock, or the Shane Gillises, or etc., like they will always tell you like that's literally how you learn and get better, is like not you have to go up there and bomb. Like you just have to. And I'm just scared because there's literally no chance in hell that the first X amount of times I would go try it, that it would go well. But also, shout out Jonas, biggest bro, Jonas Ginden on Instagram and everything else. He just the nonchalant king. He does these YouTube videos because he's in stand-up now, and he does these videos where it'll like show him doing 2 or 3 open mics and then a show, and the 2 or 3 open mics are just either dead silent or like a couple because you have to, for Jonas, you have to like gotta be nonchalant. You gotta get his comedy to do it, and I think he's fucking hilarious. But he'll do these shows and just fucking bomb, and then he'll go to a bigger show and it'll be great. And like that progress of like knowing, okay, that bomb, that didn't work, this worked, whatever, and then into the show, I need that. Like, and he'll do like a behind the scenes after bombing a show, being like, yeah, they wasn't fucking with it. They wasn't fucking with that ish at all. Like one of the shows, he literally like would start like, so y'all graduate high school? Y'all would graduate high school. Like he's that type of, he's from Philly, so that's why, because again, I'm from New York, so it's why I love his style, because like that's literally people I grew up with acted just like that, but in a real sense, like that type of shit. And I just think he's hilarious. So shout out Jonas. Or another person that Caleb Heron, man, like he's got to be the next one to blow up. No pun intended. He's kind of big. Kidding. Not kidding. That was just such an unnecessary jab because I love Caleb Heron. But he has to be the next one to like get a big special or start like doing way like bigger venues and shit, because that guy is so fucking funny. Like he's one of those comics that obviously I've watched his stand-up videos. He does phenomenal on stage, but also has a podcast, and I've never like sat there crying laughing more at a podcast than his. Like the tone he has, the sass, like he's funny as shit, comes from the Midwest. Like he's just, yeah, everything about him, everything about Caleb Heron is just hilarious. And like I want him to be the next to like have his shoot to stardom, because like, I mean, A, he deserves it, and B, he's just hilarious and he's just a character. And having never met him before, I want to so bad because he just seems awesome. So shout out Caleb Heron, because I think he's funny as shit. But no, those are my dues for the rest of the year. Is I want to push myself to do 1, 2, 3 X amount of open mics. If I bomb, which I will, not if, when I bomb, I'm going to be okay with it. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to be like, you know what? Y'all just didn't understand me. Y'all will go to high school, bro. That, and then I want to try to learn another language. Not be fluent in it, obviously, because I'm very well aware that shit is not easy, but try to learn another language, do stand-up, and that's it. That's it. And maybe keep learning. Maybe stop trying to be so dumb and just keep learning. Who knows? Maybe we will. And then also maybe get a co-host for this show, because I love talking about myself, but would also love to get a co-host of this show. But those are my dues, and, honestly, that's that's a good week of podcasting right there, at least a good episode of podcasting of the last week. And I'm excited to just continue on weekly episodes. We got our setup here. It's going to get better. It's going to look better. It's going to look more visually appealing. Like, bear with me. This is literally a one-man operation. I don't really know much about lighting and all this other shit, clearly. But it'll get better. I promise. And, that's how we're going to close out the show. Till next week's episode, but I appreciate 1, 10, 20, 50, however many people want to watch these episodes. It's only going to get better from here. We're going to have fun people on, do some fun shit. So I appreciate to whoever wants to watch, and until next time, peace.